Well, let's look at some of the transitions. A transition is a big, messy and an unavoidable plot twist. Ushaangalia movie, unaona mambo yataenda hivi. And then huko katikati mambo yanabadilika. Ninyi muangaliaje movies eh? Okay. So it's a plot twist. Unafika mahali everything changes. What you expected to be the ending changes. It also prepares your mind eh? Sometimes you are not so prepared to make a transition, but you have to because the old version of your life stops working. Pale huko, for example, tuseme ulikuwa junior second na sasa hivi unaenda senior. Unajua ukitoka junior wewe sasa hivi hapo ndio ulikuwa wewe ndiye kila kitu. Wewe ndiye kusema shule. Labda wewe ndiye ulikuwa captain. And then ukiingia secondary, wewe sasa unakuwa mono. Eh? Ile heshima yote ulikuwa unapewa primary imeenda, imeevaporate. Ukiingia huko sasa wewe ndio unatumwa uji asubuhi. Unatumwa chai. Wewe ndio unarudi kumop hostel cubicle eh? So ile heshima yote inaenda. And sometimes people have found it so difficult to adjust. And that's why we need to be flexible. The old version of you stops working. And a new version is not yet fully loaded. Bado hujafika, your new version is still hanging. It's like a phone ama laptop inakwambia una nini, it is updating na inakwambia do not switch it off. Have you seen that? When you are updating your laptop, it tells you do not switch it off. Why? Because you are expected to continue living. So that's where you are right now. You get and it's pretty much any moment where the old normal stops working and the new normal isn't clear yet. Like I remember Pastor Philip talked about COVID times. You know, everything we used to know how to do stopped working. Some of us we were used to going to work every day, then you can't go to work. You are going to school, then you can't go to school. So we have to be careful. Let's look at a number of transitions. For example, if you finish school, that's a transition. If you change careers, it's a transition. Moving cities, wewe umezoea Malindi and then all of a sudden you have to move to another city. Peleka Garissa, ukasome huko university. Did you make it? Then starting or ending a relationship, we are not talking about relationships for you. Becoming a parent, losing someone, you know, it can also be a transition. Someone you cared for, then even friendships. And then there are also inner shifts. Mambo yanafanyika ndani For example, when your values begin to change. Many times I tell young people who go to church and they come to university, I ask them, do you go to the church you go because you have chosen to go? How you go because it's your parents who go? And many times they don't think. They think, I'm just going to, I'm a church person. Until you make those values your own, they're your parents. And they have to be tested for you to make them your own. It's like the commitment class. You will see many times Presbyter would say, he's very happy to see now children of the members making the commitment to join the work. Because now it is not about my father is a pastor or is an elder in church. It's now me who. So there are those things that keeps on changing, and those are transitions that you need to know how to manage. Are we together? Yes. Starting high school, graduating high school, starting college, university, you know, joining training, entering the workforce or getting a job, moving out of the family. Sai kila kitu mazendi anafanya. Yeye anajua utakula nini. And then you go to university, unapewa 6,000, unaambiwa that should last you a month. Unaenda unanunua pizza yote in 2 weeks. Alafu unapiga selfies, unapost TikTok. Then kuna kitu university tunaita kuinama. Unajua hiyo? Kuinama ni nini? Nani unajua kuinama university? Kuinama ni wakati watu wenzako wanaenda lunch, wanapoa masahani ya chakula, unainama yasikupite, yasikuguse, because you don't have money to pay for food. watu wanakonda by the time hiyo semester iishe because they don't have money to buy food. Hiyo ndio tunaita kuinama. So these are changes. Do you know how to manage yourself? Ukipewa pocket money na unaambiwa ni ya chakula, do you know how to manage yourself, your money? Unapata msichana anakula sosi soya from January shule zikifunguliwa mpaka April. They don't know how to cook. And nowadays life has become so easy, eh? Unaweza ukapata mozokoi imechemshwa, maharagwe imechemshwa, kila kitu jahe zimechemshwa, unachukua tu unaenda kukaanga. One time this Indian father, kuna mtu alikuja to ask for his daughter's hand, and the man said, my daughter does not know how to cook, but she knows how to order online. You know? So we have people who don't know how to cook because they don't know how to manage themselves. Hawajui kupika kabisa. Ukimpatia kuku akupikie, anamchemsha pamoja na manyoya. And I'm not talking stories, by the way. I can give you a lot of stories about young people I have dealt with. You get, eh? So it's important to know some of these things. So many girls in universities wanakuliwa nguo na mamafua. They don't know how to wash their own clothes because they have not learned how to make those transitions. Most young people, I tell them, when you wake up, the first thing you need to do what? Make your bed. I hope hakuna vitanda vimeachwa hapa havijatandikwa. I always struggle with Lawi. Every day I have to do my. So let's look at social and relationship transitions. Changing friend groups. Now if you move to secondary school, all your friends, the circle will change. And people have failed to manage transitions because of changing friends. Losing friendships or drifting apart. I always tell young people, where you are today, don't allow those people to affect you. Because 4 years later, those people utakuwa unajua wako wapi. Kuna watu tulimaliza exam class 8 standard 8. From that day we have never met. Wale tulimaliza secondary form 4 KCSE tukifanya, from that day we have never met. Wale tulimaliza college exam hivi, from that day we have never met. So if you allow someone to influence you negatively, believe you me, they will leave you with a habit and disappear. Okay? So navigating peer pressure and new social dynamics. Peer pressure. Pressure to perform, eh? Shifts in family roles. Now wewe uko hapo ni mtoto, and then people are trying to teach you responsibility na hautaki. All of a sudden unajipata sasa wewe ndiye unafanya kila kitu. Umemaliza college, umemaliza form 4, na mami anataka kuachia biashara. You can't manage it. You get. So personal development transitions, exploring identity. Your identity is shifting slowly, pole pole. Yeah? Your gender, your cultural identity. You have a cultural identity, by the way. Where you are raised from, there is a culture that makes you the way you are. It's an identity that you carve out of that nini. And you can't. Kuna mahali ukienda watu wanasema wewe ni Mkenya. Wewe tu vile unanikadia wewe ni Mkenya. Why? Because they are the vibes. Zile vibes unatoa ni za vibes za Mkenya. You go to Tanzania, those people are very strange. Kila kitu naomba. Hata pale unalipia pesa. Sasa niombe nini na ni pesa? You see? But in Kenya we are go-getters. Nipe hii. Wewe harakisha, unachelewa. Because that's our culture. So there are places you go and like they look at you strange because that's your identity. And then also there is a Crisco identity. Are we together? It's a Crisco identity. I'm telling you. If you go and mix mukienda comes kwingine huko, you can look people and they just behave strangely like, where do you guys come from? There is even a coast identity, coast presbytery identity. Sometimes I would go to choir in Nairobi, move on, and would be there and would meet with brethren from other districts. And when they do things, they're like, where are you guys from? Are you really Crisco? You get it? Because we also have an identity as Priscom, of course. Watoto wa President Zinga. There's a way, a certain way we are. Eh? We are not just like everybody else. You get? So, changes in your confidence. There are times you're not very confident. By the way, I always tell young people, when I was, from when I was young, I was very shy. Painfully shy. Painfully shy. I'm telling you. When I was in secondary, I did not know how to talk, especially to girls. Eh? Girls' schools would come to our school, I would literally go and hide in the dormitory. I was scared. And not because I was doing anything wrong, but because I grew up as a loner, as a child who was alone in most places. Eh? I grew up with relatives as an only child. So I was so timid. I was so poor until I came to Malindi. Then I met a man called Pastor Marshall. He was a friend of mine. Eh? And I would look at how he would make us laugh. And somehow, he contaminated me with that habit. And I become such a people's person. Today I go somewhere and I'm easily a life of the party. So your confidence can also grow. Okay? Learning new responsibilities like how to manage your finances, how to manage your time, and how to care for yourself. Finances, those are things you will need as you grow. Eh? Then let's look at why is it that transitions feel so hard? Why? They feel so hard because, number one, you feel emotionally stuck. You are anxious. Today, if you come a place like this, all of a sudden, I can speak very comfortable with you because I know you. But I come to a new group and I feel like you don't deserve it. You are not worthy. You are not good enough. It's a transition. And that is what makes you to feel, almost feel stupid. Like, what do I have to tell these people really? It's because you are going through a transition. One time I was talking to this young girl. She comes from a very well-to-do family by many standards. The family is a two-car family. Eh? Okay? Doing well. But she went to a place where everybody else will talk about going for school holidays, eh? Go to Dubai. When they come back, the stories are like, I went to Dubai for shopping. Yeah? And all of a sudden, you start feeling like, oh my, I don't belong here. Yeah? Do you have such friends? Yeah. You feel the odd one out. You feel like, no, this is not my space. Because the people you meet all of a sudden make your confidence to evaporate. It's a transition and you need to know how to manage it. One time I had a client, this girl, and I was talking to her and she told me her brother was taken to university by the dad. And the dad paid the first fee. Then they waited until the end of the 4 years, which was the period of the course. Eh? So they agreed, let's go for graduation. They went. Now, the father and the brother and the sister went to graduation. They arrived at the university grounds and they waited for this young man to come for the graduation. They were wondering, the ceremony is about to start, where are you? And the guy told them, I'm not coming to graduation because I'm not graduating. 4 years later. What happened? I say, I've not been going to school since the first semester. So when this guy went to college, babake alikuwa anamtumia hiyo fee yote ya 3.5 years. And this guy, when he went to Nairobi, he started mixing himself with friends, guys whose fathers were the who is who in the country. So yeye kwa sababu hana pesa, what he would do is that ile fee anapewa, hiyo ndio anaenda kufurahisha, anaenda kukula na marafiki. Until 4 years zikaisha. Mzazi anafikiria jamaa alisoma, kumbe hajaienda shule tangu the first semester. And the father never asked hakuuliza results. Yeye anaambiwa tu daddy fee next semester ni 120, anatoa, anamwambia shika kijana. Kijana ameshikana na marafiki ambao wanakula live. Yeah? You get? So it's a transition. Do you know if you go and mix with certain friends, do you know how to manage yourself so that you don't get lost in the process? It's a major one, I'm telling you. If you get lucky and you go abroad, it's a major transition. Kupata green card is good. I always tell people, if you get a green card, I'm happy for you, but you need to prepare before you go. There's a culture shock there. You go and find the way people live there. By the way, wale watu wanapenda sima. Kuna kile kikosi huwa tunakiita kikosi maalum cha kupambana na ugali. You know, there are some people who can survive on ice cream and pizza. Watu wengine hapa 48 hours hujakula sima, unaanza kutetemeka. Unaanza kutetemeka kwa sababu wewe na sima ni chana na pete. You go to those countries, there is no ugali kabisa, na kila kitu unakula ni GMO, and all of a sudden life is not the same anymore. It's a transition. You go? So transitions have a way of making us feel stuck, anxious, or emotionally tired. So you are not a failure. You need to know that you are not a failure. It is simply biology and psychology doing their thing. So two parts of your brain, you know, you have an emotional brain and a decision brain, and you need to understand exactly what's happening. Transitions feel like emotional roller coasters. So wangapi hapo washapanda roller coaster? Okay. Kama hujui roller coaster nini, inua mkono. Hatutakucheka. You don't know what a roller coaster is. Wengine mna smile lakini najua mjui. Okay, mnaona zile vitu watu wanaenda hivi wanapiga kelele. Those are emotional roller coasters. So transitions have a way of making you feel that way. Sometimes you feel confident, other times you are irritated for no reason, other times you are sad. Then there are days you feel unstoppable. Other times you are tired of everyone. I don't want to see them anymore. But sometimes it all comes together in one day. So your identity, especially let me dwell there. Your brain is asking, who am I? You know, what do I believe? Do you even know what you believe? Do you? What do I really want? I've seen people, and I pray that God helps you. There's a lot of uncertainty. Mtu anakuja university, anaanza course, anafanya, anafika katikati, jamaa anaacha. Yeah? They feel this is not what I want to do. And the other day I was talking to a parent. The boy came to school. This man pays fee, all of it. Huyu jamaa akaja akachapa mwaka wa kwanza, kwa semester, second semester, kuna unit za kufanya. The whole of second year haku attend class. So that year ndio anasema akona shida. So we are asking what happened. And it is simply issues of transition. Do you know what is happening with you? And I was telling this young man, kama unajisikia huelewi what is it that you want, it is okay, you can defer. Tell the parents, nasema mimi vile najisikia naona tu nichukue break. You get eh? Okay, basic education hakuna cha break. Okay? Kama uko primary secondary hakuna teacher unataka kupumzika, unapumzika nini sasa na hata ujaanza kusoma. University people take breaks 1 year, 2 years, alafu unarudi unasoma eh? That's why it's allowed. So this guy stayed out for a whole year. By the time akirudi anataka, I even promised the father, because nilipata we were in college around the same time. So I told him I will talk to the chair nione kama huyu kijana anaweza saidiwa akarudia hiyo second year. Then we checked and we found this guy had issues that tangu first year. So akaambiwa mpaka arudie. Now he's wasting 2 years home, because now he cannot repeat until afanye hizo units the first year. Now by the time azifanye ni July next year, July. So he will have to wait wale wako first year arudi now next year September. So this stage that you are in is a stage of character creation. It is not the final game. You are simply building yourself. And you have to make sure that the process is seamless. You know, it does not lead to casualties. Take it nicely. Pressure is really here. Is pressure increasing or decreasing? Increasing. Is the pressure increasing or decreasing? Backbenchers always say increases because they like to say E or D because they don't know. So the pressure is always increasing. Pressure from school, pressure from the family. Unaletea dadi madiz hapo. Anakasirika. I think you guys have born again parents, Ndio. Wazazi wenu wameokoka. Hata ukileta grade gani ana shida nayo. Oh my. Pressure from parents. Hii nini unaleta hapa? One time I saw someone had asked a question. Oh my God. This guy said, I just realized my wife scored an E. And he needed help. Oh, so he's asking, are my children going to be like this? Oh, good. So if you are scoring an E and you are here, oh my God, I pray that the prayers that are being done are going to help you. You might fail to get a husband. But I said you are doomed to succeed. Okay? So there is pressure from family. Pressure. And people don't even realize that you are going through a transition. Wewe mwenyewe unakapitia. Alafu pressure inaongezewa juu wengine. Pressure from friends. You know, someone described Facebook. I know all of you here are not on Facebook. Facebook ni watu kama sisi. But someone described Facebook, and the reason they did this is because Facebook was the first social media website. He said that Facebook is the CNN of envy. The CNN of envy. People put things that are polished. People don't. Haizi kupost ile picha ambayo kuna uji umeteremka hapa. The other day, last weekend I was in Nairobi. And we were coming from Nakuru. So we got to Nairobi majioni around saa 10 hapo. And the city was full of young people. Sijui nani hapa amekuwa Nairobi of late. The city, the streets were full of young people. Guys are out shooting content. Shooting content, Content, mnajua content? Nyote mko TikTok, I think. Hapa kuna mtu yuko TikTok hapa. Oh, may the Lord bless you. Wale ambao hamko TikTok. But there's so much pressure from social media. Watu wanataka kupost mtu akinunua nguo anataka shoot a post. Hata wengine wanaishia sasa kuomba za wenyewe. Unaomba kiatu wenyewe unaenda kupiga picha. Unaenda kuangalia wenyewe unasimama hapo una shoot content. Hai? Jikubali kwanza. Then from friends, from social media. You are comparing your real life to someone else's edited life. Especially when you are going through a transition, don't do that. I'm a psychologist, I'm a counselor, and I describe myself as a psychologist who stands at the point where psychology and the youth meet. And I talk to a lot of young people over such issues. I have seen girls who are drop-dead gorgeous. Oh my God. But do you know what drop-dead gorgeous is? Where are the boys? Do you know what drop-dead gorgeous is, you guys? What's the ideal size? What is the ideal size? Girls, what is the ideal size? Bust, waist, hips, what is the ideal size? Do you know? I think you shouldn't, because that's pressure. You get? Do you know the cosmetic industry, after wakati wa COVID, that industry was doing very well. While all other industries were actually dying, the cosmetic industry was doing very well. Why? Because of wanting to appear a certain way. So it's not fair. Don't compare yourself with others. You are beautiful the way you are. You know, in Psalms 139, King David says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that is not even where the main point is. The main point is that he says, and my soul knows that right well. It is a battle that only you can win yourself. You have to know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. You heard Pastor Philip saying his wife loved him because of his hair. I'm bald to the bone. Yeah? And I wish you could see my wife. Oh my God. She sent her greetings to you. Do you receive them? Yes. My wife is gorgeous. And today I still feel lucky that I got her. You get, eh? So actually, you can look strange what life is. We don't even understand where we are heading. We are simply following by faith. That's why we need to follow Christ. Because at least we know he said he's going to take us somewhere. So you cannot figure everything out now. Leave it one day at a time. Take your time. Baby girl, take your time. Dude. Okay? When you go to college and you are there, you don't know everything. You can't figure it out. You know, one time this one particular girl, I remember she came to college, and I have a passion and a burden for young people when they join college. And I went and poured out my heart to them. I told them all the traps, all the loopholes of college life. But there was a specific girl. I spoke to her, and man, this girl was proud. Eh? So I was asking her, okay, how are you doing in your relationship? And she told me, oh my, I don't see any man here who is my class. I said, oh my God. Yeah? Because I knew it is such people who fall into traps very easy. When you think you have it figured out, you are just about to fall. And you are going to have a very bad one. The next time this girl came to me, she was threatening to commit suicide. Why? She had been properly character developed. Yeah? In university, there's something we call character development. And we say it is a common unit. Everybody will do it. And character development is being properly heartbroken. Wengine wanaingia hivi, 1 week, ashakuwa heartbroken. And then every semester after that, heartbreak. By the time akimaliza course, amekuwa Taliban. Now they believe men are lions, men are dogs. Eh? You see, those things happen because people don't prepare themselves. And by the way, I have not read the Bible, but it does not mean that I'm not Christian or that this is not, because whatever we're talking about is simply life. But when you look at the story of creation, it begins in the beginning, God. In the beginning, God. So that's where it all begins. And if you want to succeed in any transition, put God first. In the beginning. Are you going to secondary school? In the beginning. Then secondly, God put systems and structures in place. Do not ignore the systems that are in place. You know, everything that happened in the first 5 days of creation, before the creation of man, God was preparing the man to go through a transition of transforming the world. But God was putting for him everything that is needed. Light, let there be light. Then let the earth come. Everything, the plant, the trees, the animals, God was putting systems. If you ignore systems, you will regret. Parents are part of your system. I always say, parents are the blocks where we take off. On your marks, do you know where people start on your marks? System zile za mtaani, zile za Olympics. Sio mnaona kuna mahali watu wanaenda wanakinyaga. Those are the blocks. Parents are the blocks where we start off. I'm a counselor, I told you. And I can tell you, almost 99%, 99.99999% of the cases that come to counseling have an issue to do with the family. If you have a proper family where your father loves your mother, yeah, you come from a proper family, I think you are more blessed than those people who have, and I'm not saying that things are bad, no, but family first. If you have a father who loves you, you have a mother who loves you, provides for you, is concerned, cares about you. One thing I've noticed is that most of the young people who abuse drugs come from broken families. Most of the girls who procure abortions, who become pregnant before their time, come from broken families. Parents who abuse drugs and mothers who don't even care what is happening to them. There's a particular girl I have helped. She has aborted 3 times and now she's pregnant. This girl, the mother was actually almost rejected her. What do you do in such cases? And you are supposed, oh, someone is laughing, oh my. So, you must not figure out everything, eh? Then everyone else is ahead of me. There is that fallacy, it's a fallacy. You tend to think everybody else is doing better than you. Not true. Actually, people can appear to be doing better than you online, but not in maisha ya kawaida. Calm down, ask people, how is your life? But if that person is driving, I have seen people break down and cry, and you wonder, what is it? Because life is not as rosy as it appears. So one mistake ruins my future. Not true. People have come back from serious mistakes that could actually destroy them. So reality is that no one has life figured out at 18. You can't. Not even adults, especially adults. We don't even know what life is about sometimes. So let's look at what you need to know. You need to know, to hear that you are not behind, you are not failing, you are not weak or struggling, you are learning who you are. And growth feels uncomfortable before it feels good. Growth. That's why sometimes even life leaves us with stretch marks. Now on stretch marks, there are people who have stretch marks. It's because you are growing. When a seed has to break its own pods in order to grow. Germination is a very painful process. And so we have to listen to listen to yourself. So understand that it is normal to feel mixed emotions. Transitions often bring excitement and fear at the same time. You are excited about going to college, about going to senior school. Then ukienda huko hata sasa chakula haushibi. Ni maram daily. Unajua maram Githeri. Nakula githeri. But siku hizi watu nasikia secondary school watu wanakula chapati bwana. Huko. There are some schools where they eat chapati. But chapati you guys eat bread. During our time, bread was as precious as gold. In fact, I remember the hardest times nikiwa secondary school was when I did not have pocket money. I would just be sad, depressed, because I can't buy bread. So, transitions bring excitement and fear at the same time. You are not doing anything wrong if you feel unsure, stressed, or overwhelmed. Normalize discomfort. Sometimes I always tell people, sit with that feeling. What is it teaching you? The other day, there was this girl who is almost courting with her fiancé. So she started telling me she's having, what do we call them? We call them evil forebodings. Like a fear out of nowhere that something wrong is going to happen. Have you ever felt like that? Yes. We call those things evil forebodings. And so she did not know why it is that she was getting these vibes. So I was asking her, what is it? Can you tell me what exactly you are feeling? Because when you sit with a feeling, sometimes it tells you exactly what it is. The brain is very powerful. The brain. Sometimes, and the brain does not forget. Sometimes, I know this might not even be scriptural, and luckily we have Pastor Abi here and other Bible scholars. But sometimes I always think, although the Bible says the book shall be opened in heaven, sometimes I think our brains actually Because whatever you will be shown there about your life, you will remember it. Because the brain does not forget. You get? So what was happening is that this girl had a previous relationship that did not work when it was almost leading to marriage. And so, unknowingly, you know, the brain actually does not like to be traumatized. So, wakati kikaribia kitu which is almost traumatic, it begins to act up. So, she was, and so I was telling her to describe the feeling. And then it happened, she just remembered. Actually, the other relationship, when it reached around this place, it ended. And it was very painful to her. And I told her, that is it. Now your brain is telling you, where you have gotten with this new relationship, it's going to end like the other one. And so she started having these fears. And that way she was able actually to begin to distinguish. And I told her to start reassuring herself that this one is going to work. So normalize discomfort and reduce shame and uncertainty. Then change does not have to be figured out all at once. You don't need the whole plan on day one. Focus on the next small step. The path becomes clearer as you walk it. So if you go to NI, take it one semester at a time. At least wacha nimalize hii term. Tu asianze kuuliza. You know, sometimes people think, and I always tell young people this in college, when you're in school, you think after school I get a job with a very fat salary, then I buy a car, I buy a house, you know. Things don't happen that. My first job I was earning 6,000. 6,000. Tena kwa muhindi. Ukiingia hapo asubuhi geti kifungwa hakuna kutoka. The day I went for an interview ile nyingine sikuenda kazini, said I'm not coming today. Because ukifungiwa hapo hautatoka. And I worked there, and then things changed slowly until where we are today. No one, by the way, I think sometimes we should just be telling you our stories. No one starts at the top. We start at the bottom. Some of us are at the bottom of the valley. You get, So take it slow, my friends. Take it slow. Ukiona mtu anataka kuharakisha ati yeye they have made it. They have made it. Waondokee. Wacha wapite. Then come slowly. Okay? So you cannot figure life all at once. Then identity can shift, and that's healthy. As you grow, your interests, goals, and even your friends might change. This isn't losing your old self, it's expanding who you are. So you are changing, you are transforming, you are becoming someone better. And by the way, you guys are becoming someone better. You are becoming better by the day. Amen. I do say that I am becoming better. I am becoming better. Can you do it again? I am becoming better. Yes, you are becoming better. You are becoming better educated. Yeah? That's why I encourage people to read. Read books. Nowadays, people have a culture where they don't read. Just watch shorts. Now, the other day we got a smartphone, a smart TV, and my youngest, the guy does not eat. I was telling him, no, go and watch documentaries. Ni shorts all the time. And shorts, do you know, they don't teach you much. Shorts. Go and watch a full documentary. Understand something. Learn about countries, people. And I was telling young people, life is interesting when you yourself are interested. Get interested. I have seen young people who can hear. Wengine wenu hapa mtatoka hapa hata ujui into another branch. Talk to people. People are interesting. Find out, what's your life experience? What have you learned? What is exciting here? What is boring? Learn stuff. What is it about you that makes you unique? Everything. Though one time our presbyter used to say, everybody is a wonder. Because I even wonder how you star your teeth. You know? You're wonderfully and fearfully made. So when I look at you, you are a wonder. I just want to know how you think. How is it that you can learn how to do these things so easily while the rest of us struggle? So identity can shift, and shift with it. Roll with the punches. Routines are your anchor. Learn routines. By the way, you have heard this saying that you are the product of your decisions. No, you are not the product of your decisions. You are the product of your habits. Why? Because the brain is the best energy saving organ in the whole world. Once ukishajua kufanya kitu, I'm telling you, the first day you go to drive a bicycle, a car, you are very careful. Macho yote iko nje, unaangalia barabara. Una drive. But once you know how to drive, you can drive from here to Nairobi. Hata utajua umeovertake vipi, because the brain has put that into a pattern. It has formed a habit of how to brake, how to slow, how to accelerate. So the brain forms habits, and routines are powerful. Routines. That's why agina Eliud Kipchoge akiamka asubuhi, there is the way he does. Anakimbia. There is the way he eats. Everything. If you want to teach someone to perform very well, teach them routines, and those routines will deliver success to them. So have a routine. Journaling. Girls do a lot of this every day in the evening. Sit and review the day. How was my day? What is it did I learn today? What experience? Someone hurt my feelings. How did I feel? It's good to write those things down. You get? Write those things down. Get a book. Write your dreams as a child. Life is going to become so busy you will not even remember what you used to dream about and you are passionate about as a child. Write those things down. And as you grow, keep referring back. What is it that even today, I can produce my notes. I can produce them. I have them in the house. And they can bless you. If I came here and told you those things and at the end, this message is Pastor Abby's, you will not even believe it. So, routines become an anchor. When you wake up, you do these things. Unatandika kitanda. That's why you go to the army. The first thing they teach you is rote routines. Amka asubuhi, tandika kitanda. Then brush your shoes until you can see yourself. Eh? Then go brush. Go take breakfast. Those routines. By the way, some of the best managers today, they want to in NYS. You know why? Because they were taught a lot of routines and that discipline. Eh? Then uncertainty isn't a threat; it's a skill building phase. When you don't know, you have gone to a place you are green on. Aujui anything about that place. It's an opportunity. Eh? You are learning adaptability, flexibility. Don't be rigid. Then problem solving and resilience. Eh? Resilience actually is very key. Nowadays people are they are not emotionally resilient. Akipata tu discouragement kidogo ashachilia. And you know, by the way, people who drop out of school, I always tell young people, be careful about dropping out of school. Even dropping out of a subject. Why? Because at the end, you will end up dropping out of life itself. Don't drop out. Stay there. Ngangana. I have seen people, by the way, in college. Mtu anakuja, yani huyu hata unashangaa huyu aliingiaje college. Kizungu yenyewe kuongea ni shida. Akiandika hivi, unashangaa huyu mtu hii kizungu imetoka wapi? In university. But hao watu mwisho unamuona amegraduate, unasema we kweli kuna Mungu. You are learning adaptability. Eh? Then ask for support early. There is a particular tree in America. It's called a sequoia. These trees are massive trees. One tree is 2,000 tons. I think it is just 1 ton. Now one tree, those sequoias, is 2,000 tons. The trees can climb 100 feet into the sky. It would take around 20 of you to stand to hold hands around like this, around the tree trunk. The trees are massive. But it is said they only go around 12 feet deep. Now 12 feet, I'm already 6 feet. Now 12 feet is Mimi times 2, okay? But those trees can go 100 feet and they are 2,000 tons. 2,000 cars, really young. Because they are kama 1 ton. Eh? But they ask, how is it that these trees can do so well? They survive droughts, they survive fires, they survive every challenge that life throws at them. The secret is in its roots. The roots don't go deep, but they go wide. And they actually hold hands with each other. And these trees, as massive as they are, they never suffer because they get support from one another. And I have this saying that the champions in life are not the best talented or the most talented. They are the best supported. Do you have the support of your parents? The support of the church? Personally, I say I came from a place, if it was not for Crisco, I would not be here today. Because I remember when I came to Crisco for the first time is when I felt actually I'd come to a family. You know? The love there was so much. It became my support system. I always tell people, Pastor Abi is the one who sent me to Pastor Vuria to go to college. And in Crisco, if you are in Crisco, you just come to Crisco, even if you do not know anybody else, just stay there. It's only a matter of time. Because the support system is serious. You meet with people who can actually help you grow. And I'm not saying this from the sky, from the air. There are those who are here and they left, and we can tell how things are going for them. So if we are here today, we are not here because we are the best. It's because, like I began to say, is that we have learned from others. Even those who preach and you get blessed, it's because we have been taught. You get it? So support system is very important. Get support. Kama kuna kitu inakushinda, enda mwambie mimi mazee nimelemewa. Maths kwangu imenishinda. Maths ni ngumu. Then find support. Whatever it is that you are going through, whatever. I always like asking people, young people, is anything the matter? Is anyone giving you a hard time? Yeah? Unapitishwa mahali na kijana mwenzako mpaka unataka kujitia kitanzi. Shouldn't happen. You are loved so much. There are people who would give everything to help you. So ask for that help. Then give yourself time to adjust. Transitions aren't switches. It's not like a switch which you just flick. There are seasons. And we can tell you seasons. Life comes in seasons. Yeah? Wale tulikulia huko mashambani huko, we know how seasons used to nature. I'm telling you, we would work until watu hapa sasa hivi shule zikikaribia kufungua mnalia, tunafungua bana. During our time we would work until tunashangaa shule zitafunguliwa lini. Shule zitafunguliwa lini? Twende tukapumzike. Because home unafanya kazi. Shamba. Hapa. Unalima. We used to work. Now we understand seasons. If it's a dry season huko kwetu kambani, mnachimba visima. Hakuna time ya kupumzika. Unalisha ng'ombe, unaenda almost 20 kilometers into the forest. Unaenda kulisha ng'ombe huko. By the time unarudi, yani life was difficult. And life comes in seasons. We know. Unajua wakati wa mvua ukija, there are joys and pains with seasons. Na wakati wa raha, tunafurahia mvua ikinyesha. Kuna wakati wa mgumu. And we know, we go and swim in the rivers. So life comes in seasons. Give yourself time. You will get there, don't worry. Hata mtu akikwambia, unajua one time nilipomaliza college, nilienda nikakutana na jamaa pale Nakumatt Likoni. Most of you may not even know that supermarket. Jamaa alikuwa amefanya certificate. This guy was big, man. He was doing so well. Ameshika car keys. And he was telling me how he got a very big job and he's doing well. And I had done an engineering diploma. Kuna watu hapa wanataka kufanya engineering. That thing is tough. Unasoma. Sisi sasa naona classic bounce wanafunzi wanafurahi wanakimbia wanaenda nyumbani. Would go to school from 7 in the morning mpaka 7 in the evening. Saturdays tunakuwa shuleni. Tunangangana. Alafu ukitoka unaenda unaandikwa kwa Muhindi. Mshahara 6. Hata unaanza kujichukia. But here we are today. God has blessed us and helped us. So celebrate small wins. By the way, after God created the earth in 6 days, the 7th day God threw a bash. He sanctified the Sabbath. So always, ukimaliza seko, junior second umemaliza, celebrate it. Make it a big thing. And I always say, men actually should not be, men, ikifika age 20, birthdays, achia hapo. After there, you are only supposed to celebrate achievements. No, ati mwanaume mzima 30 years uko na ndevu na celebrate birthday. Seriously? Eh? You should celebrate achievements at that point. Ngojea ukishafika now your 70s, we will come and celebrate you now. Hey, you have worked. We are so blessed to have you. Eh? Thank you very much for your sacrifice. Eh? I can see you. Karibu sana. Happy to see you, bro. So each step you take, meeting one new person, finishing the first assignment, showing up even when you are nervous, is success. One last thing as I finish. Make sure you always sit at the front. In class, sit at the front. In meetings, sit at the front. You go for a seminar, sit at the front and ask a question. It doesn't matter how stupid you sound. The other day, we went to Nakuru for a meeting, and there was this girl who is part of our group, very young. She's called Lynn. This girl was very active. Kukiwa na nia anaenda meeting, hizi madini zote anaenda. Then she was giving us her testimony. And she was saying, in this year alone, she had traveled to 15 countries. Why? Because she's in the climate space. It's a new area, by the way. Come on, Musoma College, go and do something to do with climate. Eh? And she's going to Nigeria, where they prospect a lot of oil, because it's issues of climate. She wants to check how the communities there are managing life with all the conflicts around Mabaya oil prospecting. And this girl is doing well, extremely well. And she's so young. So save yourself out there and celebrate every win. Stay in front. Push yourself. Don't take the back seats. You know, kuna watu wanaraukaga class so that they can sit at the back. Ile kiti ya nyuma anataka kuchukua hiyo. Ama shule zikifunguliwa, you are the first in school. Ndio uchukue loka uweke nyuma. No, sit at the front. Ask questions. Push yourself in front. So celebrate those wins. God celebrated that day, and even today we celebrate it. The Sabbath, because we don't go to church on Saturday, we go to Sunday. But that day is key. Jesus said, as long as we do this in remembrance of me, that's also a celebration. The Lord's table, we are celebrating. Umemaliza shule, celebrate. You make a friend, celebrate. One time I had this young man who was doing a lot of online work. Nowadays there are young people who are doing a lot of online work. And this guy, kazi yake yote anafanyanga online. Anaandika my essays, my research paper, kila kitu online. And he was such a loner, it pained me. Jamaa anafanyanga kazi usiku. Mchana anashinda amelala. Akitoka anaenda supermarket to restock his fridge. He has no girlfriend. He has no social life. Nothing. So timid at 25. Jamaa we never even ask. He is successful. He has a lot of money. In one night he can make up to almost 5,000 shillings. But he has totally no social life. Because he does not push himself out there. And I say it, life and people are interesting as long as you are interested. So reflect, ask yourself what you are proud of, what surprised you, and what are you learning about yourself. You know. So your worth isn't tied to how smoothly you transition. You can actually struggle with some transitions, but you are still worth. You get it? Struggling during a change doesn't mean you are weak or failing. It simply means that you are human. Sometimes tunalemea sana vijana. Sometimes the comparison doesn't come with others outside the family. It comes with those inside the family. One is doing so well until your parents are so proud of them. Alafu sasa kuna wewe. You are simply being human. Don't throw yourself away. One day you will look back and say, wow, that was hard. And you'll be proud that you didn't give up. You are doing better than you think. All right? So, please, can you tell me one thing you have learned today? I'm done. Anything you have learned today? Let me hear. I've said a lot of things here. Have you learned anything?
Yes.
What?
Celebrating birthdays after 20.
Yes. Especially men. Africa 18, that's what I celebrate birthday. Yeah? Tell us you have gotten a new job, we come and celebrate with you. You have bought a house, or you rented out your own house, we come for housewarming. You get it? Okay, anything else you have learned? Support. Who is your support system? What is your support system? Check. And remember, family. Sometimes we parents are hard on you. And it's because we want you to succeed. And success sometimes to us is not always bringing A's. I tell Lawi, I don't want an A. And I want you to put in the effort. You get? There was this young boy who hakuwa amesoma kabisa. Then akamwambia Yesu, unajua Yesu, mimi sijasoma. He's very young, grade 3. So akamwambia, naomba tu unipatie an extra one day nisome. So that night it rained. Ukaja ule upepo wa kisulisuli, ukaangusha miti, ikabwaga waya za stima. Ikaanausiwa the following day hakuna shule. This guy atajifungia kasoma. Kana akafanya mtihani. He got a D. Nasema mimi I'm very happy. Hii D ni yangu na Yesu. You know you guys huku nje mnakimbizana na A. University watu wanapigania D. D. Unajua wale watu walifanya 2024, how many had a D and below? D plus and below. More than half. In university, watu wanapigania D. Because kama si D ni supplementary. I want to stop there. Kono.